half Boston sports podcast, and here we are. And I mean, this is week 5, right, Dad?
Week 5,
Week
absolutely.
5. I mean, if you told me we'd be 1-3 in week 5, I would say that's actually more wins than I thought. But I didn't expect us to be this pantsed or embarrassed or hopeless in week 5 at this point. I thought we were going to have a bit of more action, but man, has this been a lame 4 weeks, Dad? How do you feel going into this week 5?
Well, I mean, we get off to a good start. We won the first game. We should have really won the second game, and then it just kind of they leveled off where we thought they would be at this point. Like 1-3 is not a shock by any stretch. It's a shame that with all that, I don't want to keep harping on it. All that salary cap just sitting there, and if it feels like if we had an offensive line and we didn't have some bad luck on the defensive end, Barmore doesn't go down, we don't trade Judon, we could have had a season. But that's behind us. There's nothing we can do about it. All we can do is talk about today's game going forward, and this is a big one for Mayo. Let me tell you, the Dolphins are bad. They have literally led for 0 minutes this season. They do have a win under their belt. That's because they had a walk-off field goal where
Yep.
they were losing the whole game, and then they won in the last second. Two is down. The offense has been atrocious since two has been down. They're missing their star safety that they signed, Poya, and they just haven't been good. For Mayo, I'm telling like people think that Mayo is guaranteed a second year. I'm not so sure of that.
Yeah.
He
So real
loses a
quick,
game like today at home against the Dolphins, who are absolutely abysmal and reeling. Man, let me tell you, it could get ugly, and he might not make it past the first year.
Real quick, Jeff Unknown. We haven't seen Jeff in a few weeks. Jeff, it's good to see you, buddy. Hopefully, you're doing well and you're healthy up there. And I think in Canada is where he's at. We did get Swayman this morning. That was major news. 8 by 8.25. That jersey is not a bad investment at all right now. In hindsight,
We're
hopefully,
going to talk
um,
about that tomorrow on
we
our
are going to talk
season
about that a
preview of the
lot.
Bruins.
I know, but Jeff's here. I wanted to
Yes,
give Jeff a little love. Jeff's our guy. So
absolutely. Yeah.
my favorite viewer personally, and my wife watches this. So Jeff, you're one step above her. So I appreciate it. So I will say this: you jumped the gun on my question, and the question was going to be, Dad, was did Monday night make this a more important game than? Oh my gosh, Scatter the Winds is here. When's the last time we saw Scatter the
Oh
Winds?
wow,
Holy
got to
smokes!
win. Turn it to a Bruins show, guys. We're gonna
Oh
have
my
a Bruins
goodness,
show tomorrow. Please tune in for that. They're
we're
taking
gonna
over
do.
the Patriots pregame.
And as they should, do the Patriots really deserve this much airtime on a premium show like ourselves? I mean, so like my dad said,
Uh,
we fully anticipate putting heavy work in on the Bruins tomorrow. We want to talk about it a lot. It was a colossal mess up to deal Olmark before re-signing Swayman. Scatter the Winds with a super hot take. Man, makes me want to talk about the Bruins. We got to
you can't though.
we got to keep giving a little love to this horrible Patriots team. We're gonna be, Dad. When do you think you're gonna be able to stream tomorrow for the Bruins?
I don't, I don't know the time yet, but our season preview is definitely going to happen tomorrow. Scatter wins. Jeff Unknown, please tune in for that. We
Bring
absolutely love to
that
get your insight and your thoughts. So yeah,
bring that Scolding hot take tomorrow, Scatter. I want to touch on exactly what you just said
yeah,
about that. So for the Patriots, right? So, Dad,
yeah.
before Monday night, did you think that today's game was going to be a big deal, or do you think after Monday night it became a bigger deal when it specifically becomes like around Mayo?
Well, yeah. Well, we have been talking about how some of the teams weren't as portrayed as we originally thought they were going to be, and the Dolphins were one of them. And they just have shown that they're not who people thought they were. So with them looking so awful, Mayo just and there's been rumors of mutiny. I know a lot of the players have stepped up and said that's not true. We love Mayo and blah blah blah. That's not going on. But let me tell you, it doesn't feel great. Mayo doesn't feel like he's off to a great start. It doesn't feel like Van Pelt was a good guy to bring in. It's just not working. Wolf, and Matt, give us credit. Like we were criticizing a lot of these moves way before these first four games. You and I personally, we weren't crazy about bringing Mayo in automatically. We hated the Wolf move, and Van Pelt, we were like, well, there's nobody left. I guess we'll take him. He had some decent success with Cleveland, and Brissett, and not great quarterbacks there. So we were on this, and sure enough, it's all coming true, just like we predicted. And Mayo just has to. He has to win this game. He has to treat this like it's a playoff game for Kraft. Now, me personally, if I want to win this game, that's a different question. But you're right, Matt. As far as Mayo go, he should be coaching. He should have prepared this week like his job was on the line.
Mayo, yep. After seeing that anemic offense, the horrible performance by this Dolphins team, it made it look like, oh, the Patriots going to win this. The Patriots are a bad team, but they've at least been a bad team together for a longer period of time than the Dolphins. The Dolphins are going on a short week after Monday night, getting embarrassed on TV. I would love to see Drake May get the start. We talked about this last week. We think that Colts. I think is it the Colts game or which game? It's the Europe game. Maybe
The
Jacksonville. I
Jaguars.
forgot. Jaguars
Yeah.
game. Jaguars game in Europe. I think is like the sweet spot for Drake May. Brissett, I know, Dad, you mentioned we won week one. Did we win week one or did we just not lose week one? And you talked specifically about our third quarters, the aggressiveness. Mayo's coaching style has been so weird. It seriously feels like he's on the dance floor and he just doesn't want to embarrass himself. So he's just rocking back and forth. He doesn't do
Mm-hmm.
anything fancy. He's not breaking out any moves. He's just got the little bob, right? And if somebody comes and takes his girl, that's fine as long as he doesn't get embarrassed, right? This is Mayo, right? I
I love that
is
analogy.
is it
Yes,
isn't it nail like hit the nail right on the head for this guy?
it is. He's not the old bull at the Blur on a Saturday night breaking it down, dropping it like
Yeah,
it's hot. That's for sure. He is
Mayo's
very
just
ultra conservative. Van Pelt ultra conservative. Wolf is adding players to the team, ultra conservative. It's just the whole thing. No risk, no reward. All those cliches you can throw out there, Matt. You're absolutely right. So we got Kendrick Bourne coming back today. We got Mapu coming back today.
woo.
So
Yeah.
I mean, does it matter? The offensive line, we lost Andrews. Caden Wallace had been not good. So I guess losing him, I don't. That's not necessarily a huge deal. They brought in some guys, new guys. I don't know if they're going to get some playing time. It'd be nice to find some diamonds in the rough and a couple guys who could possibly pass block for when Drake May gets in there, because Drake May is getting in at some point this
What a
season.
George McFly.
I understand they're worried about getting him killed, but at some point they are getting Drake May in, whether it's Brissett going down because he keeps getting hammered and eventually he will get injured, or they got to see what the kid can do. So,
There you go.
you know, we get some
Dad,
we get some additions today. I mean, I don't know. You excited about those, Matt? Matt Pooh,
man.
Bourne.
So real quick, Jeff said we got a George McFly analogy, and I think that's really up your alley with Back to the Future. And yeah, George
Oh, yeah.
McFly. He's man, Mayo is just so plain Jane. I guess like maybe I'm excited about Kendrick Bourne. Maybe. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. It's tough, right? Because I think Kendrick Bourne's personality might force them to make some plays because he is such a big personality. And you got KJ Bourne, you got these rookies, Polk, Javon Baker, and Demario Douglas, and they've always been very reserved. Even Demario Douglas being, I think, our best wide receiver, very reserved. Tyquan Thornton is, of course, an afterthought. Those guys can kind of be disgruntled and they'll use their body language, but I feel like Bourne might be the one to stand up in a meeting and be like, we got to throw this ball deep. You got to get me. I really like him. I think he has the energy, that diva personality you need in a top wide receiver. Of course, I think we'll see how he comes back from this ACL. He might be that mid-level wide receiver 3. But maybe he can get some exciting plays. You know what I would kill for? I would kill for an interception 50 yards down the field. If we could throw a ball that gets intercepted around 40 to 50 yards away from the line of scrimmage, I would be so excited because that
Just so
means
we could
we've
have that
actually
excitement.
just so we could try something,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah.
we have not been moving that ball in the air, and whatever we have to do to get some excitement. And you know what's really funny is there was a post on the Washington Commanders fan page where they posted Ramondre Stevenson is not starting because of his fumble troubles. Antonio Gibson will make the start. And the caption for the Washington Redskins was, "Should we tell them?" Antonio Gibson has major fumble concerns, especially back in Washington. He hasn't done it much here, but he hasn't had remotely the
Yeah.
volume that Ramondre's had. So I don't know. I think this game is a prime game for our future. Lose this game, that'd be huge for us. And Dad, I mean, we got 4 minutes left. Any more thoughts on this game before we should maybe start telling people what to look for the 1 o'clock games alongside ours for the Tankathon?
Well, guys, for selfish reasons, I'm I want the Patriots to lose today.
Sorry.
Now, I get it. Like, I should be shamed for that. I hate it. Trust me, I hated the last 10 weeks of last year rooting for them, but I am a long-term guy. I'm a look to the future guy. I am what's truly best for the team, truly best. And winning today, I'm just not against a garbage crap Dolphins team. I'm not sure
Yep.
it's genuinely good for the Patriots. It hurts their draft status. It it kind of like buys Mayo more time when I'm not sure he's really the guy. It
Yep.
keeps Brissett in longer. Like it
Yep.
does a lot of things
So
that it's and this is what I was talking about. I tease Matt. They're gonna win today, the Patriots, and it's fool's gold.
yeah.
It's fool's gold. Everyone's gonna get excited. Oh, we're 2-3. We win next week with 500. And you know what? We're gonna lose next week against Houston and we're probably going to beat Jacksonville overseas, and we're going to be like, again, fool's gold. Well, we're 3-4. We're right around 500. We could make a season of this. No, with the offensive line as bad as it is, with the defense not as good as we thought they were, and with Mayo looking like he's in over his head, I'm just, I long term winning today does not help. We lost off. Listen, I'm not saying I don't love Drake May and I'm not excited to have him, but if we lost one more game last year, we have Jaden Daniels here, and
Yeah.
Jaden
Look at
Daniels
Jaden
already
Daniels.
looks like a sure thing.
So so
So
so Dad,
don't
you've put
underestimate that. Go ahead, Matt.
you set the tone, right? Now, we of course, sadly, will not be disappointed if the Patriots lose today, but there's teams that we also want to win, right? So if you're looking to root
Yes.
for some W's, here's the list. Jacksonville Jaguars, they're at home against Indianapolis Colts. There's plenty of reason why they should win that game. I think there's actually some injuries going on with the Colts. Richardson is inactive, so they're their backup quarterback. So big game right there. The Jaguars are 0-4 right now. They should hopefully win that game. The other game that's
Mhm.
big for us is the Carolina Panthers. The Red Rocket is hosting no, I'm sorry. The Red Rocket is going to Caleb Williams' house, Chicago. If they could pull out a win there, go 2-2, that would be a major for us. Any
Yes.
other teams, Dad? I mean, the Giants are going to Seattle. That's going to be a really tough game for the Giants to win. Any other teams you want to
Yeah.
talk about in that tank race, Dad?
Well, I mean, Tennessee, that's another one
Tennessee's on a
awful
bye.
team.
Tennessee's on a bye.
you know? And here's another thing. If Tua misses the rest of this season, losing today, the Patriots gives Miami another win. Trust me,
That's true.
Miami's going to be awful without Tua for the rest of the year. They could be vying for a higher pick than us. And listen, if we get in the top 5, we're almost guaranteed a top-notch left tackle, which is what we want. But if we do get the number 1 overall pick, and there is a quarterback that distanced themselves from the rest of the pack, you could get a lot for a first overall pick. We could still get our left tackle. We can get another extra first rounder for the year after. Like you said, Matt, last week's probably going to be really good. We're going to be drafting high in every round. I know it's depressing thinking about this stuff, but we need things to get epically bad. So things around here change. Kraft, our cheap owner, actually insists on spending money next offseason because we have a lot of cap space and more possible changes made. Hopefully, he doesn't hang on to Mayo because he's got this bond with him if Mayo's not the guy. Listen, if Mayo turns it around and proves me wrong, that's a good thing. I'm glad. The old bull loves being wrong when it comes to
Yeah.
stuff like that.
There's nothing
But
wrong with Mayo
oh,
like as a person. We don't care who's there as
no,
long as they can prove that
absolutely
they can be
not. It's just
successful.
I just I don't know if he's the guy yet. It doesn't feel like it. I don't like a lot of his moves. I just don't yet. I don't like his conservative approach is just it's very Bill Belichick like, and I don't like it. It's you got to take some damn chances in this league, and he just hasn't done it. So
Yep, game time. Here we go, everybody.
game
Big
time.
show tomorrow night. A lot of stuff to get excited about with those Bruins. We'll be back here. Hopefully, we'll see some of these exciting names. Game names that make us smile. We'll see.
Yeah. And post game, tune in after post game after
Yeah.
this one. So it should be an interesting post game either way, whether they win or lose. That's for sure.
Yep. All right. Yep. That's true. Jeff Unknown, Detroit. I would love to be a Detroit in hopefully 3 years. If I could be Detroit, I'll be very happy. So
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
So
All right. Hope
all
everybody
right.
has a good rest of their at least